Friday is here, and with the Labor Day weekend, I think I wanted to do something a little bit special. So, I'll be completing Pantheon 5, also known as Pantheon of Hallownest, and I'll be showing you guys how to do it. And also later on, I'll be doing a stream on, well, shortly after the stream probably, I'll be doing a stream on Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is now released. For those that have pre-ordered it, it is now out. You can now play it, so let's get started. And if I don't get this on the first try, don't get mad at me. I'm using a really standard build for this, besides Fury of the Fallen. Most people would be using Unbreakable Heart or Catcher or Long Nail. Just depends on preference. Seen people use Sharp Shadow or Nail Master's Glory, but it's not really my type of thing. It's just whatever suits you. But this is the build that I'm going to be using. Fury of the Fallen will not kick in until Radiance, in case I am low. But I think it might be a good idea, you know, since I won't be using it the whole fight. I'm going to remove Fury of the Fallen, and I'm going to replace it with Long Nail until after NKG. Sounds like a reasonable thing to do. So here is Pantheon of Hallownest tutorial. Let's begin. So the first bosses you're gonna encounter are Vengefly Kings. And what I do, or what you could do, you could play aggressive or you can play passively. What I do is play aggressive. I like to pogo off them at the very top. Already doing horrible, as you can see. Alright, that's one. For anybody that's trying to speedrun this, I'm sure they can do a whole lot better than me. Alright, so we're down 3. We're only gonna get 1 health. But that's fine because the second boss is just as easy. They got Gru's Mother. Gru's Mother? I don't know. This one you just use Abyss Shriek whenever she's above you, and just try to stay on the other side of the part that she's on, in case she wants to do that type of attack. When she's slamming herself up and down, you just hit her once or twice every couple times. Whatever is necessary. Alright, third boss. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's the very first boss that you fight, unless you decide to fight Gross Mother. You knock him down, Dream Nail him 3 times, and then Abyss Shriek, since his hitbox is like massive. You can also hit him with the rocks here, which deal some damage. Dream Nail him again for more soul. And if you can get him, by the time you start slamming his mace around, then that's good. You can just heal and get any extra soul that you need. This is just, it's endless until stage switches. Alright, this one is really easy if you have Quick Slash or any nail lengthening charms, so both is recommended. You just slash at him over and over again until dead. Massive Moss Charger's the easiest boss in the whole entire game. Alright, Hornet number 1, you want to stay aggressive on her. Just want to stay aggressive. It's not hard. I mean, if you've already beaten her once at the beginning of the game, I'm sure you can do this without any problems. Just have at it, because she's really slow. Her first fight is really slow. And there you go. That is Hornet defeated. Now you not cutscene, but just a little stop. If you need to heal, go ahead. Talk to him. Mischief beyond mischief, we cannot escape thee, even in this highest, most distant of pantheons. O wielder of nail, O eater of soul, are thee a messenger of the gods, or something stranger? We will not defy thee. Continue thy combats. We shall be listening closely. If you dream nail him, you get some dialogue too. O gods of Hallownest, show us your might. We shall attune ourselves to thee and ascend even higher. Now, I'm not really that much of a lore person, but I think it just means that they're trying to find a god that is even greater than absolute radiance. And that is what you're achieving by beating this Pantheon. Next up is Gorb, and he's annoying. His first set of attacks, which is spikes that he throws at you just once, really easy. Just hit him whenever you have the chance, and try not to get hit by the spikes like I am. When he goes for 2, just dodge the first ones and jump or duck underneath the second set accordingly. I don't like moving around too much in this fight. I just like to stay where I am. When he does his third set, dodge the first one and then do the same for the third set. Spells aren't really required for this battle, but if you can get an Abyss Shriek or a Shade Soul, that's just as good. You also want some soul for this battle, Dung Defender. Like Hornet number 1, this boss is really easy if you already beaten him before. You can do a trick where you just juggle him when he's in his ball form. You can end up killing him. But once he reaches this phase, all you have to do is just Descending Dark until death. There. I mean, I did that no hit, so if I can do it, I'm sure you guys can too. I'm sorry if I'm not going too much into detail about every single boss, but I don't know what to say really. Next up is Soul Warrior. He will spawn in the inflated mistakes, as I like to call them, and just kill those whenever he teleports, and watch his movements closely. If you see that, that means he's gonna dash towards you. Just get ready to dash, and Shade Cloak isn't really necessary here because you don't have to dash through him, just away from him. And dodging those soul balls are also very easy to do. I would recommend going for Pantheon of Hallownest after you've gotten every single boss in the Hall of Gods on at least Ascended. That's my recommendation. Brooding Malek is quite simple, especially after you have like all the upgrades in your arsenal. Descending Dark whenever necessary, not Shade Soul like I did. And whenever he shoots the spit all the way up into the sky, just go into the opposite direction and hit him as many times as you can. Nailmaster, Oro, and Mato. The first fight is really easy if you have quick slash on. The fight will be over really quickly. And make sure you have your shade cloak for when he does stuff like that, so you can dash through him. Heal up and dream nail Mato as many times as you can. For this part of the fight, you want to stay in between them and do descending darks. Because that's how you're going to get both of them at the same time. This boss is really easy. I tried to stay away from them, but then I end up getting cornered by them. It's easier to get in between them and then do Descending Dark. You have to know, you have to pay attention to which one that does the Great Slash, and you have to pay attention to the one that does the spinning, the Cyclone Slash. And after that, you get your first checkpoint. This is basically finishing Pantheon 1. And if you've beaten previous Pantheons with bindings, as I have done, besides get these cocoons filled with lifeblood hearts. And you get 4 or 5 depending on how many you've beaten. It all depends on the blue door next to the Hall of Gods. Alright, so 0, really easy. All I have to do is hit him from underneath whenever he gets close. I like staying in the middle platform because it helps with, you know, being a lot more patient. If you want to be aggressive, you can also do that, but I just stay here in the middle platform and I just use Shade Salt whenever he gets close. There. Number 1. Next up is Crystal Guardian. This one, if you have Quick Slash on, does the most damage. And whenever he does this beam, you can use Descending Dark instead of having to dash through him. And it's over in seconds. That was less than 30 seconds. Soul Master. As soon as you start the fight, just start Abyss Shrieking, and you'll stagger him once. Don't worry too much about his attacks. This thing's denser than a bowl of cereal. You don't have to worry too much. Just Descending Dark whenever he gets close, and also Abyss Shriek whenever he's doing that. Just standing still. This attack is so slow you could just go ahead and do an Abyss Shriek. Before you know it, you're done. No, you're not. He'll start slamming his body into the ground, and all you have to do is just dash. As soon as he does his idle stance and starts shooting these things at you, you can just Abyss Shriek. Don't use too many in case you need more soul for the next battle. I mean, I have 2/3, so I'm good. And if you've taken no damage like I have until this point, then that's pretty good, because you're gonna need as much health as you can get for this battle. This battle is one that I struggled with the most. Oblobbles are very annoying. I don't have any special tips, but the only thing I can say is to use spells, and if you want to save your soul, which is a good idea for when you killed the first Oblobble, like now, just spam Abyss Shrieks and don't miss. Stalwart Shell would be really good for this, because when you get hit, you get a bit more invincibility frames, so you can just hit them up close. Mantis Lords, you start off with just 1. And it's like normal Mantis Lords. You just fight until you get the first one down, but you don't fight the next two. You get something very special after you beat the first one. Here you get a little cutscene where two stand up, but then the one in the middle stands up, and now you have to fight all three. For this one, you just have to pay attention and try to be, how do I say this? You have to make sure you get the highest damage output possible. If you can do a Descending Dark while all three are on the screen, perfect. If you can do an Abyss Shriek while they're throwing the circles, that's good too. Just get as much damage in as you can. I missed somehow. And fighting three may sound like a lot, and it is, considering the fact that you're smaller than them. But you just have to be evasive. Use your Shade Cloak to your advantage. Once the fight gets down to two, it's like fighting normal Mantis Swords. You're fine. There, you're done. I wouldn't worry too much about healing because you already get another checkpoint after this. So you just go ahead and heal up, get your lifeblood. And then continue. Marmu's really easy, but she can be a bit random sometimes. Just make sure you're on the other side of the screen and not in the very center, because if you hit her, she'll bounce against the thorn wall and she'll bounce straight back at you, and you might not be prepared for that. And before you know it, you're done. And if she teleports above you, make sure you just move out of the way. Alright, this one is too easy. You just Abyss Shriek, hit 3 times, Abyss Shriek again, hit 3 more times. If you cannot get past this boss, I just don't attempt this at all. Broken Vessel, to me, is harder than Lost Kin. And it sounds weird, but I'm just not used to how slow Broken Vessel goes. I mean, sure, there's a lot less HP in Broken Vessel, but like, I'm not used to how slow it goes. Like, my chances of taking damage in this fight are higher than Lost Kin. But this battle should be over in seconds. It's not something I really had to explain. Just make sure you jump and you read the cues that it gives you. For Galleon, Abyss Shriek him once or twice when he spawns in, and before you know it, he'll spawn in one of those soul orbs. And just try to stay on the other side of the scythe, like dash across the scythe, because it'll just continue following you. So you just move left and right accordingly, and dash through it if needed. Heal up. Alright, Paintmaster Shield, the end of Pantheon 2. For this one, he's going to immediately jump back, and he's going to use any of his attacks. When he uses, I mean, you just gotta read the paintbrush, really. When you see blue, he's gonna do that. When you see pink, he's gonna do that. When you see yellow, he's gonna do like the Great Slash. When you see red, he's gonna jump into the air and collide with the ground. Just make sure you read and you act accordingly. Any spell would help here, except for Abyss Shriek, because there's no, like, there's really no time when he's going to be above you, and you're going to be able to have enough time to use it. And here you're at the 3rd checkpoint, I think. I lost track. Yeah, 3rd. You're at the 3rd checkpoint. Get your soul. Head out. Soul and lifeblood. Next up is Hive Knight, and for this one you just have to be quick at the beginning with damage and be quick to react when he does stuff like that until like dashes behind you. And whenever you spawn those balls in, the balls, you just gotta descending dark to avoid it. Just like Paintmaster Shio, any spell would work here besides Abyss Shriek. Alright, Elder Who, you can just Shade Cloak whenever he uses his attack every single time. Just try to sync up every single time that he uses his attack. Like that. You can also use spells. Those are really effective as well. I try not to use spells if I can already take them down normal with my nail. But play however you please. Play as you please, should I say. For the Collector, you can get close to him and hit him a couple times and use an Abyss Shriek as he goes up. And whenever he jumps over you, you can use an Abyss Shriek as well. I like getting as much damage in as possible, because I know I'm doing a lot. He's already spawning in 3 jars instead of 2. This one's really easy. It'll be over in a matter of seconds, or maybe a minute. There. Lost the rest of my lifeblood, but that's not a problem for God Tamer. For God Tamer, what you have to do is go to like as close as you can to the monster and start slashing at it. Use a Descending Dark when it rolls to the wall and bounces back towards you. And don't get cornered like I just did. Just continue spitting at me. Try not to take as much damage as I am right now. It's gonna be hard to recover as quickly if you take too much damage. And go for the monster, because if you kill the monster, the Tamer also dies. For Grim, Dream Nail a couple times. If you can hit him at the very beginning. Once he goes to the middle and does his pufferfish attack, Abyss Shriek. Doesn't matter if you take damage. After this one, there's going to be a checkpoint. And then you'll get his stagger. Hit his Grimkin as many times as possible. 2 more Abyss Shrieks, and after that, he should be done. As soon as he finishes his face, just hit him a couple times. Nope, he's not done yet. He's at 25 HP, I think. Oh, I forgot to mention. Whenever he does that pufferfish attack, that means that he's gone down by 25 HP. So if you're curious as to how much damage you dealt, you can just go ahead and recall how many times he's done that attack. Checkpoint. As usual, get your soul, get your health back up, get the lifeblood. Here's another little stop. Sleeping God, we can barely feel thy presence amongst the green left behind. What strength thee once possessed fades beyond time and tune. Dream now. Get more dialogue. Sleeping God, to see thee as thou once existed, with land and dream and devotion, we would give our mind. check if there's more dialogue. There we go. Such magnificent scale even in decline. If only they could teach us to grow so large. Just because something's big doesn't mean that it is good. Take False Knight, for example. Alright, watch your knights. Since you have full soul, this should be really easy. Descending Dark as you start. And Descending Dark really just any time. Also, Quick Slash helps a lot. And quickly go over to the right because that's where the next one spawns in. And get more soul from it. Alright. I'll just continue fighting this one. There we go. Oh, wait, there's one more. Just try to kill him as quick as possible. You do not want 3 to 4 stacking on top of you. The first and the last ones are usually the easiest to kill. And you have time to heal there as well. Umu is a very problematic one. This one takes a bit of luck as well. Start by getting to the top as fast as possible and dream nailing to get as much soul as you need. And as soon as she does that attack, you just go down to the bottom and then you go back up right over here. At this point she'd be spawning in the jellyfish. Not jellyfish though. Well, you know what I mean. If you can't get all your hits in, just there we go. Alright, make sure you heal up because next is, I think, Nosk. Winged Nosk. Alright, so for a Winged Nosk, you start off in this platform, then you go over to the middle. And surprise, it's not Hornet, it's a winged version of her. Hence the name, Winged Nosk. When she does her diving attack, you can go ahead and use a Shade Soul. If you have Shaman Stone, it'll have a higher chance to hit, unlike the normal ones that I have. Make sure she's not at the top when she does that attack, or she like spits out all that orange stuff, because then you can't see where they're gonna land. She goes to the top, that is the time to heal up to 2 masks of health, depending on how slow you were. There. That was rather quick. Just make sure you jump as high as possible when she dives down, because sometimes the hitboxes on her wings are a bit weird. Now we have Nail Sage Sly. You want to get as close as you can to him, and you want to hit him a couple times. When he does that attack, make sure you stay vertical to his position so he does the slash back up. When he does that, make sure you hit him from up top, like that. When he does this move, Cyclone slash, you can do Descending Dark. If you're too far away from him when he starts doing that attack, he'll just stop it. Alright. Second phase, just make sure you stay in the middle. Not like I did. You want to stay in the middle because you do not want to get cornered when he does this attack. dream nail him a couple times for the soul that you need. And you're set for Hornet number 2. For Hornet number 2, you want to kill her as quick as possible before she starts spawning in the spike balls. Because it is possible to kill her before. It's possible to kill her before she starts spawning those things in, but I was too slow. Sometimes they're a bit hard to see because they blend in well with the arena, but alright, it's not necessary to heal here because you have another checkpoint. This is the second to last one that you get. After this checkpoint, it's a good idea to start panicking because the last couple bosses are hard and annoying. Take Markoth, for example. Some visibility frames. Yeah, this one was easy. It's the same as the last one, but you have to be faster, also take double damage. Setting dark and you're ready. Lost kin, like I said, easier than the first one. Because I'm able to react faster to his moves. It's the same moveset except for the one where he like rocks his head back and forth and starts spitting out that orange goop. Because that'd make the fight too easy. Whenever he jumps up and dashes, make sure you hit him from below. And don't let too many of those soulful accumulate on the screen or else you're in trouble. And whenever he does that attack where he jumps up and slams down into the ground, get close to him so they don't get hit by the things going around. You won't have a window to heal there, but you will here in this fight. No Eyes is one of the easiest bosses in this game. Just take your time on each platform if you don't want to rush it. And try to get as many hits in whenever she's in every position. And don't get too close to the thorn wall, or else when you get hit by one thing, you'll just immediately go straight into the thorns. You'll know when you need like one more hit to defeat her. You'll know. And don't stay on just one platform and wait for her to come to you, or else the fight will take a lot longer. For Trader Lord, you hit him twice at the beginning, and you can use Descending Dark or dash through him using your Shade Cloak. Either or works. Just don't do it when he jumps up, like I did. And don't get too far away from him, or he'll use other attacks, other ranged attacks that might be a bit harder to surpass. And once again, heal and take a moment to pay respects. Missy Cloth. Here's one of my favorites, White Defender. It's the faster version of Dung Defender, and you cannot do Descending Dark or juggle him in the air in order to deal damage, but you can use Abyss Shriek whenever he jumps out of the ground. Because his hitbox is large enough. Whenever he throws the dung balls, don't get focused on dealing too much damage. Make sure you're mindful of where those dung balls are falling. And don't get too close to him whenever he does that, because he'll just dig back into the ground. For this part, it's easy to get 2 hits in if you have Long Nail and other nail lengthening charms. After this fight, you get another checkpoint. This is the second to last one. Now after this boss, is when you should start panicking. I mean, usually my heart would be beating crazy fast at this point, but it's not because I'm just too good at the game. Alright, we have more dialogue here. Oh tragedy, this majestic god evades our attunement with such ease. We only live to serve the gods, to seek them out. Why does she frustrate us? How does she hide from us? Does she diminish herself by choice? Any more dialogue? O majestic one, we beg thee, reveal thyself. Our mind so much less without you in it. Dream now for extra dialogue. Pale mother, we barely dare to think. The chance of meeting is too rare. But thine resonance, could you be one of them? One of them, I think, is referring to the 5 knights. Alright, Soul Tyrant. This one's just also the faster version of Soul Master. And that attack is really hard. Make sure you just avoid it. Or, if you're on the same side as him, use Shade Soul. When he does that, you can either hit twice or you can do Descending Dark. Yeah, that was a bad idea. You just need to be faster and use more of your abilities a lot more often. And he'll fake you out a lot more as well. It's a hard attack to avoid. I'm surprised it did this on Radiant difficulty. I wonder if that one viewer's still in the chat. Alright, so when you stagger him, make sure you use the Bish Shriek so you can get the most damage possible and stop getting hit by those things like I am. I don't know why I'm playing horribly today, I just played yesterday. Oh, and I ran out of soul. There you go, you have to jump between them and try to hit him once or twice. You can also try to sneak in a Abyss Shriek, but it's not 100% guaranteed depending on which side. And here you get to be a lot quicker when you dash, or else the hitboxes will get to you. This will occur for about 7 to 10 times until he starts doing that. And there's no room for Abyss Shriek because he'll most likely be on the ground. But you can Descending Dark and continue slashing at him. Next is Markoth. At the beginning of the fight, start playing aggressive and pogo off of him. Just make sure you get as much damage as possible. This is the fastest I've ever killed Markoth. You want to make sure you're on top of him always. Pause. And just, like any other boss, try to get as much damage in as possible. Failed champion had to be twice as quick. And to make sure you read his movements a lot better. Once again, Abyss Shriek, like False Knight. Used the rocks to hit him. You see, I was able to stagger him using that. After this boss, you'll get down to the final 3, which all deal double damage. And for something like this, you do not want 9 hearts. You want 11, because, you know, everybody wants more HP. For Nightmare King Grim, his first attack will be that. You just have to dash away from him. His dashing down attack, you had to just avoid, like, by jumping up and then jumping again when he dashes towards you. The balloon attack is easier. Not easier, but I've gotten better at it. Jump once and you can pogo off him. For the bats, stay in between, and if you need to heal, go ahead. You'll be able to heal up to 2 times. For this attack, you hit him once, twice, and then Abyss Shriek. Having a very long nail would be really useful in this fight because it's going to be close quarters with you almost always. And you want to make sure you're far away from him. Alright, here we go. Oh, I'm mistaken the move I was going to do. Alright, you just continue evading until you take them down. If you've already completed the Grim Troop, then this should be slightly easier for you. And after this, you will get a stop. You'll get another stop, so you don't need to use any soul to heal, unless you want to. Alright, the last two are Pure Vessel and Absolute Radiance. And I cannot guarantee that I'm going to beat Absolute Radiance because I'm not good at the game at all. I've only beaten this Pantheon around 3 times, and then I've beaten Radiance normally in the Hall of Gods like around 15. But here we have more dialogue. Even long departed, we feel the afterglow of the god power that sat at this throne. It lays heavy upon this kingdom. That lingering power alone was beacon as they draw us to Hallownest. How bright it must have been to mortal bugs stood before it. Any more dialogue? A god so strong, yet erased so completely. How could it happen? Dream Nailet. God King, you reduced your form to match our mere shells. Why shed so majestic a hull? Surely your true immensity could have inspired devotion all the more. Pure Vessel's really easy. I'm just worried about Absolute Radiance. I can beat this guy any day, especially when I have 4 more HP. Pure Vessel. For Pure Vessel, just make sure you're far away from him, like always. Especially when he does attacks like that, when you need more time to read it. And when he does that, make sure you're descending dark. Get as much damage as you can. When you're happy to be close to him and he doesn't attack, make sure you use your Shade Cloak. Getting hit was one of the last things I wanted to do in this fight, because I wanted to save some lifeblood for Radiance. Alright, so you don't need to heal, because as soon as you go into Absolute Radiance, your health will regenerate. You'll be full on health again. So Absolute Radiance has plenty of moves in her arsenal, but when they're repeated over and over again against you, you start to learn and you start to form like into her moveset. At the beginning, use as much Abyss Shriek as you can and a Descending Dark when depending on the move that she starts off with. I forgot to switch my charms to Fury of the Fallen because I might need it. Alright. With that, we just speed ran the whole first phase. The first 3 Abyss Shrieks that you use are gonna help a lot with getting you closer to the end of the first phase. I always stay on this platform during the second phase because it's been the most useful. Make sure you stay far away from her as to avoid getting hit. And when you can, find a window to heal. Don't make healing your #1 priority or else you're gonna get hit. Make sure it's something that you're paying attention to. Like that. Just make sure you stay in this fight long enough to heal to a point where you feel safe to do the last phase. You do not want to go into the very last phase with little HP. But like I said, do not make healing your priority. For this phase, just take it slow. Ah, that's disappointing. I died. You guys will never be able to see the end of Pantheon 5. I did not think I was that low. That was disappointing. Well, if it's a tutorial, maybe I can try it again some other time and show you guys the end. But if you guys stay tuned, I'll have another stream up for Sonic Colors. See you guys then.